In today's video, we'll be going over how to find the equation of a function from a graph. So we know that the base equation for a sinusoidal is y equals a times sine or cosine, parentheses b, parentheses x minus d plus c. Now, we know that the a is our amplitude, or our vertical stretch or compression. We know b is the horizontal stretch or compression. We know that c is the vertical shift, and we know that d is the horizontal shift. So we need to see how to get the equation into this form from this graph. Well, we can see that we have a very ordinary looking graph, and let's try to find our amplitude. So in order to find our amplitude, what I like to do is find our max and our min value and divide by 2. So we have a max value of 2, a min value of -4. Let's do -4 plus 2 equals -2. Divide that by 2, and we get -1. -1 is going to be our center point. So if we have a center point at -1, I dashed it with some lines, as you can see right here. And we want to see how far we got from our center line, which we just determined was -1, to get to 2 and to get to -4. Well, from -1 to 2, it's 3. And from -1 to -4, it's also 3. That means our amplitude, or our vertical stretch, is 3. So we have an a value of 3. Now, let's try to determine our b, or our horizontal shift. Well, we're going to do that by finding our period. Now, in order to find the b value, we want to see our period, because we know that our period is equal to 2 pi over b for sine and cosine functions. And now, we can try to find our period. So, we know that we have an intersection right here at, let's just call this pi over 4. And we have another intersection right here at 3 pi over 4. The difference in these points are equal to our period. So 3 pi over 4 minus pi over 4 equals 2 pi over 4, which simplifies down to pi over 2, which is equal to our period. Well, we just said that our period is 2 pi over b. And since we know that our period is equal to pi over 2, we can set 2 pi over b equal to pi over 2. So now what we can do is try to isolate for b. So it would give us 2 pi over 2 equals b. And then remember when dividing by fractions, you multiply by the reciprocal. So we have 2 pi times 2 over pi, leaving us with 4 pi over pi. The pi's will eliminate each other, leaving us with 4 equals b, or b equals 4. So we just determine our b value is 4. Now let's try to find our c value. And we said that the c value is our vertical shift, up or down. So we can see that we went to a center point at -1. Usually a graph starts at 0, 0. So from 0 to -1 equals -1. So we shifted down -1, meaning that our c value equals -1. Finally, we need to determine our d value, which is the horizontal shift. And the horizontal shift in this scenario is going to be our d value, obviously. And we went over pi over 4 to get our first intersection, meaning that our d value is pi over 4. These are the values, and now we can just use this base form in order to make our equation. So we said that y equals a sine or cosine of b parentheses x minus d plus c. Well, this graph is a sine function, as it starts at the origin, goes to the maximum, goes back to the origin, goes to the minimum, and so on and so forth. So now what we'll do is we'll write it in sine form. We just found our a, b, c, and d, so we can say y equals our a value, which was 3. So y equals 3, and we just said it was a sine because it goes from the origin to the max, to the origin to the min, and so on and so forth. And then y equals 3 sine, parentheses our b value, which was 4, parentheses x minus our d value, which was pi over 4, and then plus our c value. Here our c value is -1, so -1. This is the equation for the graph we have been given. I hope this video helped, and if you believe it did, please consider to like and subscribe, and definitely keep commenting for future videos. Thank you.